Got the first item. Welcome to our container security group conversation. Tiago, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. I'll kick off by apologizing that I didn't get the highlights, the issue highlights. I tried to run the script and I failed miserably. So I'll look into it, and next time I'll have the issues. So back to you, I'm afraid.
All right. I mean, I think this one I put in here a few days ago, a go or no go decision for policy management. I think
we're a go, right?
Pretty well decided on a go. So that's a big win, right? Issues closed. I mean, talk about ethics closed, right? It's perhaps an even bigger deal.
Yeah, quite excited. A few things to polish, but the bulk of it is there. Your last time, Arthur, I've been trying to shepherd it through. The maintainer said he's happy with it, but he ran out of time. So hopefully that doesn't put us into a tight spot with merging it tomorrow. But at least the other stuff is already live. So if this one doesn't go through, it's annoying because we don't get the feature flag turned off. But it's enabled in GitLab.com.
When is the cutoff to make the release? What day does that one have to be merged in by? I know that's always a
officially
question.
the 17th, but they start cutting it from the 15th, and then if there are any issues with master being broken or any bigger problems with the later cuts, they'll go back, potentially back to the 15th. So everything going well, it should make it.
Probably will make it in, but we'll see. Sounds like.
Yeah.
Great. Just a note on that, I did update our priorities today, just to move some of those bug fixes and up. Just did a small reshuffle of priorities there to make sure that we close those out early on so we don't have bugs hanging out for a long time.
I noticed it. Thanks for that. I did a pre-planning last week, so this week I need to just polish up the stacking, anything that you might have added, get them refined and get it ready for Friday. I think is kickoff.
Sounds good. All right, so then my next question is all about 13.5, and I put in a couple other notes there down in the planning breakdown section as well, pretty late. I put those in today right before the meeting. But the big question is, what are we confident in delivering for 13.5? Is there anything that I should highlight in the release kickoff video? We're planning to record that tomorrow.
So we've been prioritizing finishing the policy management. Most of the things in there have not been refined, so I don't think we can call any of it with confidence, which makes for a not very exciting release video. But Arthur, do you have any thoughts on this? Same thing?
No, not really.
Yeah, so I don't feel super confident about calling alert dashboard.
Okay.
The design, yeah, we can probably finish that, reorganizing that. That's one thing you can call out. I don't see a big risk on that one. The bugs, I don't know if it's interesting to mention, but the alert would have been the big one, and at this point, I can't say for sure.
Okay, I'll probably talk about it then, but just make it abundantly clear that we're not committing to it for 13.5.
I'm happy with that. Thank you.
That works. So then I guess that takes us down to our planning breakdown section. I know we've already done planning breakdown on alert management, but that was quite a while ago. So just wanted to ask, would it be useful to take some time to go back and take another look at that? Do you have any questions for me? Anything we can cover there, or is it crystal clear?
I don't know about crystal, but I think it's plenty clear. I do expect Zamir to have some questions. I've asked him to refine that one. I don't know if Arthur has any questions, but I wouldn't expect Arthur, do you?
No, actually not up to date. I think is that the only thing I remember is that we agreed to do a research into what to do with Hubble before committing into further work. So I think it still has to be done.
Yeah, there's a spike there for it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then my last question, did we decide which UX approach we want to go with? Kyle gave us two designs. One was basically the same as what the monitor team has in alerts today. And then the other one is more of a Kanban style layout, board layout. Now we want to go to that Kanban style eventually, but to do that, we have to have a lot of things in place already, like status and whatnot. It's also different from what's in, alerts. So when we think about code reuse, I'm assuming you're going to have to make some changes there. So the question, is, do we want to go with perhaps a more iterative approach and do that table layout, potentially throwing it away to redesign it later? Or, is the engineering cost the same for either one, and we may as well just go with the end state?
I think it depends on what the end goal is. I think it would be a huge waste to commit to one just to switch to another down the road. It doesn't matter if the first one would be easy to implement right now. So I don't know what's the situation with the UX research and validation.
Yeah, so it's not quite done, but the response has been very positive on that Kanban style layout. So almost certainly we do want to do that in the long run. So again, I just don't know how much throwaway work there is. Like if you tell me it's, just to go with extremes here, for an example, if you tell me it's 5 minutes of throwaway work to do the table layout, then I'd say, well, yeah, just do the table layout. We'll come back to the Kanban one later. But on the other hand, if you tell me, well, it's 10 iterations of throwaway work, again, going with extremes, right? Then I would say, well, let's just do the end state. Let's not worry about the initial table view. So I'm just trying to understand, what does that cost? The end state is the Kanban style layout, though. That we've gotten some really good feedback on that. It seems like it really is resonating well with users.
Yeah, the thing is what Monitor uses right now is more standard for GitLab. There are reusable components for that in GitLab UI. So even if you're not going to reuse anything from the monitor, it's still much easier to implement because I can just get components out of the library and put it on the screen. With the board style, it's a bit trickier because those components are not reusable from my understanding. The components, I mean, that we use in epics and boards. So yeah, there is some work is necessary to either replicate those board components or maybe make them reusable and submit to GitLab UI. So
Arthur, without committing ourselves to an estimate, that simpler layout, do you think that takes more than an iteration? Do you think that fits in an iteration?
layout itself is in table, like the ones that Monitor uses is pretty simple, I think, at least what I remember in my head right now. So it's pretty straightforward. It's definitely doable in one cycle. Again, it's just a table with a few buttons and
I didn't want to
paginated.
say anything before you, but yeah, that was my impression too. The bulk of the work is the data source, right? Where that data is coming from, which, as you mentioned, we still need to do the Hubble research and
Yeah,
do all
I'm
the
just saying
integration.
that if the bot is the end goal, there is no point delaying this hardest part. And by that, I mean creating or extracting components for the bot, because delaying, like using tables right now does not bring you any any step closer to the bot layout.
No,
It's
but
completely different, and
yeah,
then
for sure.
you're
For
gonna
sure, yeah.
remove this and
It's just Sam's
start
call,
essentially.
right? If he wants
Yeah.
to start learning some stuff from it, if it's throwaway work and it's not huge, then he might decide to, yeah, well,
Yeah.
I want to see some of it.
No, I mean, it just doesn't feel like iteration in this case because essentially we will build something just
Yeah,
to show and then,
we're
you know,
iterating towards a dead end.
remove it. And then because it's so drastic, it probably would need a feature flag on lasting, not the development one. So user could just transition into that stuff. So essentially doing it this way, from my understanding, like the process inside GitLab is just delays it way more than
That's a good
necessary.
point. I didn't think about the feature flag and the complete shock
Yeah.
to the user. So something for you to ponder, Sam, I think.
So yeah, it's a bit tricky in this case.
Good point,
Yeah, those
Arthur.
are
Thank
good
you.
points. Yeah, those are all good points. Just, you know, in the defense of the MVC approach, I want to point out that even though it may not be iteration in the engineering sense, like it may not get the engineering team any closer to the end state, the MVC would allow us to deliver value to the customer sooner, where, you know, they could be able to at least use it early on. And so I think that's kind of the trade-off that I'm weighing in my mind is, do we get something to the users right away at the expense of engineering work, or does the user have to wait, you know, one or more extra months, you know, to get a better solution, but we've saved on the engineering work. So
Have a think.
it sounds like
it's about an iteration. It sounds like so that ballpark.
Okay. Got it. It sounds like it sounds like leaning towards the Kanban style. So why don't we, I think the epic is not written up for that right now. So we'll have to make some changes to the which mocks are attached to the epic and the requirements of the description, but I would rather not kill a whole iteration of engineering work. We only have, you know, 2 developers here. So yeah, why don't we go forward with that Kanban style for now? And I'll talk it over with David. I'll let you know if that decision changes, but for now, let's go with that.
So look, it's likely that we wouldn't get to front end for another iteration anyway. That might buy you time to finalize the research and have designs. So by the time we actually start doing front end, we might be there already. That
Yeah,
back
that's a
end,
good point.
that back end work is not insignificant.
Yeah, if you front load the back end work, that buys us time. So I think that's a good plan. Okay. So for the decision, let's say we'll start with the back end work and revisit the front end decision as we get closer.
Thanks for taking notes.
But for now, plan on the Kanban style. Great. Any other questions on or topics that we should discuss as a group? I guess I'll add one more here at the end, which is just another congratulations. I mean, I know that policy management was a big one. I know we have some bugs that we're shipping with, but I'm really excited to get that out the door. I think that's a huge usability improvement. I think it's going to lower the bar significantly for new users who are trying to write network policies, and it's going to be a huge win just for security overall as we start to deliver these features and make it easier for companies and individuals to start including security in their projects where they were not necessarily, you know, full-on security experts before, or perhaps even Kubernetes experts, because there are a lot of security experts in the world but don't know very much about Kubernetes. So I'm really excited for where we're headed, and look forward to diving in on alert management.
Me too. Congratulations. Well done, Arthur and Zamir. And I'm looking forward to hearing feedback from people using this.
Absolutely. If we're lucky, we'll have some initial users here soon. Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks for the feedback, Sam. Thanks
Good
for the
evening.
feedback and context.
And good day.